everybody. Welcome back inside the CrossFit Update Studios. I'm Sean Woodland with Rory McKernan and Tommy Marquez, and it is time to put our money where our mouths are. It is pick time for the Reebok Pick Em competition. We're going to pick our top 5 teams, our top 10 men, and our top 10 women right here. We're going to start with the teams. Let's jump right into this. Tommy, your top 5 teams.
All right, pay attention because this is going to earn you the big bucks. 5th place for me, I got Invictus X. 4th place, OC3 Black. Starting the podium at number 3, Team Soul out of Miami. Number 2, Don't Stop. Unfortunately, they stopped just shy of the top spot. And of course, my winner is a Mayhem Freedom.
All right, decent, but not the best. I've already maxed out all my credit cards. I'm all in on this, okay? So I know I'm gonna win $2 million. Starting from 5 down to 1, Invictus X, Reebok CrossFit Frankston. How could you not love Rob Forte? CrossFit Fort Vancouver, experience is anything, and these guys have the most of it in team competition on the podiums. Don't Stop also in 2nd, Mayhem Freedom in 1st, because I love Mayhem, and I also love Freedom.
I don't want to break it to you, but you know we are not eligible to win. So you might want to rethink some of those financial decisions. All right, here are my top 5 teams. Torrance Training Lab in 5th place. I like their athletes. Invictus X will be 4th. OC3 Black from the great state of Iowa. They get on the podium. They are in 3rd. Don't Stop. I have them in 2nd as well, Tommy. And then, of course, Mayhem Freedom winning the whole thing once again. That's how we're picking. How is the community picking? Right now, the top 5 most picked teams, no surprise, the majority of the community has CrossFit Mayhem Freedom on top, and then Don't Stop is number 2. 95% of people have CrossFit Mayhem in their brackets, but only 58.9% have Don't Stop. So there's a lot of diversity there among the picks for the teams. Let's get into the individuals. We're going to start 10 through 4.
Okay.
And we will start with the men and then go to the women. So Tommy, you're up first.
All right. Starting out my top 10 is the notorious BKG. You know, another year in the top 10. Then James Newberry finally makes it in the top 10 as well. Tim Paulson in 8th for me. Learned a bunch last year, and he's going to parlay that into a strong finish. Alex Anderson, every year he gets better, and there's no exception this year as well. Scott Panchik, once again in the top 6, but just not quite there. Ben Smith in number 5 for me. On any given day, he's one of the best in the sport. I think he stays towards the top. Brent Fikowski in number 4 for me. You know, he still has some holes, some blow-up events, and it's going to cost him this year for the podium. In the 10th spot, Amanda Barnhart is my only worky female in the top 10. Jamie Green, another strong year. Christy Aramo comes back into the top 10 in the 8th spot. Carrie Pierce in 7th, and then the fittest woman in the U.S. this year will be Cassidy Lance McWhirter in 6th. Sarah Sigmundsdottir, another top 5 finish, but slides just one more spot for the 2nd year in a row. And then in 4th place, the most iconic woman in the sport, Annie Thorisdottir.
All right, so lots of similarities, a couple of key differences. Starting with the men, I've also got Alex Anderson in my top 10, but he's going to be my 10th place position. We agree on James Newberry, some amazing numbers at regional. Hopefully he can back those up at the games, break into that top 10 spot. BKG, you're doing him a diss with that 10th place spot. By the way, he did originally pick Roman Krennikov. It's not too late to change your picks because he didn't get that visa. For me, number 7, Cole Sager, making major moves. I think he's going to have a fantastic year. He'll go back into that 7th place position he's been before. I agree with you on Scott Panchik. Scott, don't kill me, but you love that 6th place spot. 5th place, Ben Smith. And then the Canadians, we've got ours a little bit flip-flopped. I'm putting Pat Vellner here literally because I flipped a coin. And I couldn't make up my mind.
Science.
Yeah. What about the top 10 women? Top
All right,
4
so
10 now.
Women, I picked a rookie as well, but mine's going to be Laura Horvath, the young Hungarian. I think she's going to make a big splash when we get her outdoors in Madison. Alessandra Pacelli may surprise you. She didn't have a great year last year, but she's a good, we're betting for money here. We're playing for keeps, and she's a safe bet, in my opinion, to get into that top 10. Kristen Holte, who is notably absent from your list, deserves to be in the top 10. Tennille Burline, I talked her up a lot. She's great outdoors in Madison. If she shored some stuff up, she'll do fantastic, but I'm only giving her the 7th spot. Annie T, pains me to say, but again, on the women's side, I had to go to some coin flipping because there's so many names that could potentially be in this top 10, even win the games, that that's where she wound up for me. Number 1 lady in the Open, number 1 lady at the Atlantic Regional, Cassie Lance McWhirter, is going to be number 1 in the 5th place spot. And then 4th place, I gave to Sarah Sigmundsdottir because it was impossible to choose. But Sarah, she just hasn't been able to put together to get to the top of the podium. She's been on the podium, but I'm giving her 4th place this year.
All right, 10 through 4 on the men's side for me. Actually, you and I agree on 10 and 9. So Alex Anderson and James Newberry in 10th and in 9th. Cole Sager will finish in 8th place. I like Ben Smith in 7th. I know that he didn't do that well during regionals, but I think that was an aberration. He'll be fine for the games. Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson will be 6th. Scott Panchik will move up. He will finish 5th. And then it is Patrick Vellner, just missing the podium this year. He will finish in 4th place. On the women's side, Brooke Wells in 10th place. I am on the Amanda Barnhart bandwagon. I think she finishes inside the top 10 as a rookie. Tanil Berline in 8th place. I love her athleticism and her vast background as far as the different sports that she has played. I think that's going to help her. Jamie Green in 7th. Cassidy Lance McWhorter in 6th. Sarah Sigmundsdottir just cannot crack the top 4 this year. She finishes in 5th place. And Cara Saunders just off the podium. She is in 4th. Okay, It is now time for the real money here, the real picks, the podium, starting with the men. Tommy, who's on the podium?
Well, first, you get a triple word score for using aberration
That's
just a
thank
few
you
minutes
very
ago.
much.
So well played, Sean. Starting off my podium for the men, number 3, he's going to be a guy who we've been hoping he can get over the hump quite some time, Noah Olsen. He's going to probably still have a mistake, but you know what? He's learned how to handle those mistakes like he showed at regionals. He gets into the 3rd spot. Number 2, Patrick Vellner. Super impressed by what he did at the East. In my opinion, he's the next fittest athlete besides Matt Fraser with the fewest holes and the right mindset to compete. And this should be no surprise for me. My champion, Matt Fraser, and he will continue to be the champion until someone knocks him off, at least in my opinion. Moving over to the women, my 3rd place spot, Cara Saunders. I think she has an equally impressive performance as she did last year, but she's going to get bumped by one athlete who is in much improved form, and that's Katrin Davidsdottir in the 2nd spot for me. Katrin looks like she's a woman possessed. She reignited that fire, but it's not going to be enough to stop the 3rd 2-time champion in Tia-Clair Toomey for me. I think Tia, after winning last year, something about her has just been ignited. I think she just carries herself in a different way, and she showed that at regionals. She showed that at the Commonwealth Games. That video of her storming out to make that lift to win the gold was amazing, and I think she's just on another level now.
I would be happy with any of those results being true. Mine are slightly different. Here's what I did with my men's podium. I've got the other Canadian, like I mentioned, on my podium, but I took Fikowski from 2nd last year. He's going to be my 3rd place athlete. Noah Olsen actually gets the 2nd spot in my book. And initially I told you I was going to mix things up and be crazy and not pick Matt Fraser to win. I don't see that as an absolute possibility. I think if you're going to win money, like if this is an actual game, you're trying to win $2 million, make that safe bet that Matt Fraser is going to win, then make your money in that 4 through 10 spots. That's where you're going to actually get the differences between the rest of the people that are playing. On the women's side, I think for the first time in history, this is going to come down to a 3-way tie that cannot be resolved by our tie-break rule. It's going to be Mortal Kombat on the field, called by Dave Castro. Boom. And the winner of that is going to be Cara Saunders. She's the only one of this group that has not yet had a championship. I think she wants it just as much or more than anybody else. And again, like I said, it was just about impossible to pick, so I gave Cara the nod. That puts Katrin Davidsdottir in 2nd, and Tia-Clair Toomey does not get her repeat championship. She's in 3rd.
All right, on the men's side for me, pretty much agree with the people who will be there, but a little bit of a different order. Matt Fraser is going to win. Let's get that out of the way. But in 3rd place, Noah Olsen. I think he finally gets himself on the podium for the exact same reasons that Tommy just said. He is a much more mature, much more complete athlete in 2018. I think he gets that bronze medal. And it's Brent Fikowski who will once again finish 2nd behind Matt Fraser. On the women's side, we all have a different champion. I think it is going to be Katrin Davidsdottir as the first 3-time CrossFit Games champion. Tia Toomey will finish 2nd again, and then in 3rd it will be Annie Thorisdottir also for the 2nd straight year. But I was really impressed with Katrin Davidsdottir in the regionals. I think she has fixed her training from last year. She has kept the pedal down, and I think she will continue that when we get to Madison. So there you have it. Let's take a look though at what the community is picking, and we're going to start on the men's side. Top 5 most picked men. Of course, Matt Fraser leads the way. No real surprise here with any of these 5, but this is surprising to me. Only 98.6% of people have Matt Fraser in their brackets. How is that not 100%? I mean, are you
not even in the top 10?
Not even in their bracket.
Hello.
At all. Wow. So that's, yeah. And then the most picked rookie, and this could be a problem. You guys might want to get back in there, log in, and change your picks, is Roman Krennikov, who unfortunately will not be able to compete at the games this year. On the women's side, the top 5 most picked. Was basically the top 5 from last year. Davidsdottir, Toomey, Thorisdottir, the Australians and the Icelandic women leading the way there. The most picked athlete is Katrin Davidsdottir, and then just behind her in 2nd is Tia Toomey, and the most picked rookie is Laura Horvath.
What would have to happen for Fraser to not be in your bracket? Like, you think that he's going to get stuck in those clip-in pedals?
He would get hurt and not be able to compete.
I think someone let their kid have the iPad. Yeah. The kid signed on for them and accidentally just picked whoever.
Yeah, that's probably the only excuse. Hey, this thing closes July 31st, so if you haven't done it yet, go to Reebok.com/pick'em. You can pick your top 5 teams, your top 10 men, and your top 10 women. If you get all 25 correct in the exact order in which they end up finishing, you can win $2 million. And once again, Ro, you are not eligible to win. I am very sorry to break that news to you, but there are still some great prizes if you don't run the table from Rogue and from Reebok as well. So great
Whoever
prize
does
packages.
wins, I can pass some bank account information and we can share.
Yeah, Reebok.com/pick'em. If you steal Ro's picks, I think you do owe him a bit of a finder's fee if you wind up winning that $2 million. We are getting set to kick things off at the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. Here's how you can watch all the action. Facebook Live on the CrossFit Games Facebook channel. You can go to games.crossfit.com. CBSSports.com, again, will have coverage of the events. And then each night, we will have a 2-hour recap show on CBS Sports Network. This is Thursday through Sunday. That's from 10 to midnight Eastern time. And then we will be live on the big CBS network twice. Once on Saturday from 1 to 2 Eastern time, and then again on Sunday from noon to 1 Eastern time. That is going to do it for us. Good luck with your picks. For Tommy Marquez and Rory McKernan, I'm Sean Woodland. We will see you in Madison for the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games.